Jason Chen, 22 years old, computer science major with a clean record and a charming smile. He is doing something shady behind Jasmine Pace's back. She has 18 minutes left to live. Jasmine Pace, also 22, arrives at his apartment building on a cold November night, believing she's spending time with someone she trusts. On this day, Jasmine wants to spend a quiet evening with her boyfriend. On this day, Jason has already made his decision. This is the story of 72 hours that changed everything. Jasmine Pace wasn't just another college student trying to find her way. She was the heartbeat of her family, the one person everyone turned to when life got hard. Her older sister Gabby would later say that Jasmine possessed a gift for making people feel seen, for making them believe everything would work out. At community college in Chattanooga, Tennessee, Jasmine juggled classes with dreams of building a future that included children of her own someday. Those who knew her best called her Jazzy. The nickname fit perfectly. She moved through life with energy and warmth, fiercely protective of the people she loved. Her two nieces adored their aunt, and little Waylon, her godson, lit up whenever she walked into a room. Jasmine collected cats the way other people collected memories, 4 of them, each one rescued and cherished. But November 2022 hit her family hard. Her grandmother lost a battle with cancer, and grief settled over Jasmine like a heavy coat she couldn't shake off. Those closest to her understood that she sometimes needed space to process her emotions, moments when she'd pull back from family gatherings to work through her sadness alone. Nobody questioned it when she occasionally went quiet for a day or two. That pattern of grief would become the perfect cover for something far more sinister. Katrina Pace expected her daughter home for Thanksgiving dinner. The family gathering was planned, the food prepared, and Jasmine had confirmed she'd be there. Then came the text message on Thanksgiving morning. Short, simple, unexpected. Jasmine had decided to spend the week with her friend Emma instead. She needed time away from family. Given her recent loss, Katrina swallowed her disappointment and tried to understand. But then came the Facebook post. "Enjoying Thanksgiving with my baby," it read, accompanied by a photo of Jasmine in revealing clothing. Katrina's first reaction was surprise. Her daughter never posted photos like that. Jasmine was private, modest, careful about her online presence. Something felt wrong, but Katrina...
Wonder, was the boyfriend doing it? You feel me? He got a hold of her phone and started posting pictures, making statuses. I don't know, but maybe she was. I don't know. You just...
couldn't quite identify what. Travis Pace, Jasmine's father, saw the photo and his blood ran cold. The tattoos were missing. Jasmine's distinctive ink covered her right arm, a timeline of her life marked in permanent art.
Ooh.
Each tattoo had been added months apart, making them impossible to miss. In this photo, her skin was blank where elaborate designs should have been. This wasn't a recent photo. This was someone pretending to be Jasmine.
I told you.
Katrina immediately called Emma. Her daughter wasn't there, had never planned to be there. Every text message claiming Jasmine wanted to be alone was a lie. Multiple friends and family members had received similar messages, all stating that the 22-year-old needed space, needed time, needed everyone to back off and let her grieve in peace. Nobody had actually spoken to Jasmine in days. The family didn't wait for permission. They searched immediately, driven by a mother's instinct that something terrible had happened. Katrina accessed the My Chevy app on her phone, a GPS tracking system installed in Jasmine's white Chevrolet Equinox. The vehicle sat in a parking lot at Signalview Condominiums on Mountain Creek Road. Jasmine didn't know anyone who lived there. By the time they reached the SUV, darkness had fallen on November 26th. 4 days had passed since anyone saw Jasmine alive. The driver's seat had been pushed far back, adjusted for someone much taller than Jasmine's petite 5'2" frame. Inside, they found her belongings scattered, evidence that whoever drove the car last wasn't Jasmine. Katrina called 911. Chattanooga police arrived, took a report, and essentially did nothing. The officers' response would haunt the investigation. They explained that Jasmine was an adult. Adults have the right to disappear if they want to. There were no clear signs of foul play. They wrote down information, exchanged contact details with the frustrated parents, and left. Katrina and Travis stood in that parking lot, abandoned by the...
I get it, but like, bro, if the parents is concerned though, like, wouldn't you think the police would like take some concern to it, but they don't because, like I said, adults are allowed to disappear, without permission. But it's like that's what I'm saying. Like the police don't do nothing until it gets really serious. Like they don't take nothing serious until it gets serious. Like, oh, she's an adult, she gets to disappear. But like, if you see the family is showing concern, then like, wouldn't you be concerned, Mister Officer, sir? Huh?
Very system designed to protect their daughter. But Katrina refused to give up. She contacted their cell phone provider. Jasmine was on the family plan, which granted her mother access to phone records. The
Right.
call log revealed something crucial. No calls had been placed from Jasmine's phone in days. Every text message, every Facebook post, every attempt to make people believe she was fine, they all happened while her phone sat silent. One number appeared repeatedly. On the night of November 22nd, Jasmine had connected with someone for over 71 minutes. Katrina called the number with police present, hoping for answers. Jason Chen answered. He was a computer science major at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. He and Jasmine had met on Bumble several months earlier. Their relationship was casual.
Y'all ladies be aware, bro. Meeting them people on the website, especially like I ain't gonna lie, this might be like them computer geeks and all them tech, them niggas be weird. Cause they be too smart. And so they just be weird. And so y'all ladies be careful when y'all doing that, man. Make sure make sure y'all, do y'all homework on them. Do your research on the person you meeting before you start doing anything. I ain't saying everybody like that, but just be cautious.
Not serious enough for Jasmine to introduce him to her parents. Neither Katrina
You
nor
feel me? They was
Travis
just
had
hunching.
ever heard his name before this moment. Had Jason heard from Jasmine? Was she okay? Did he know where she might be? His answer came quickly, too quickly. He hadn't talked to her in days, he claimed. When they last spoke, it was only for a few minutes. Katrina knew he was lying. She was holding the phone records in her hand. 71 minutes. Over an hour of conversation on the night Jasmine disappeared. He would remember talking for that long. Anyone would remember a call that lasted more than an hour. But
Right.
Jason Chen claimed he barely spoke to her. The officers present heard the lie. They heard Katrina explain the phone records. They heard a mother begging them to investigate this young man who was clearly hiding something. The police response? They did nothing. They left the desperate parents standing there, knowing that the one person who might know where Jasmine was had just lied directly to them. Katrina and Travis were on their own.
And they just blew it off.
The frustrated parents
Per
returned to
usual.
searching through Katrina's phone, looking for anything they might have missed. Then they found it. A text message they hadn't noticed before, sent from Jasmine's phone in the early hours of November 23rd. No words, no explanation, just a dropped pin showing a location. 110 Tremont Street, an apartment building. The message arrived at exactly 2 in the morning. Jasmine had never sent a message like this before. She'd never dropped a random location pin, especially not in the middle of the night. But here it was, possibly the last thing she'd tried to tell them before something terrible happened. The next day, Katrina and Travis went to that address. They knocked on every door in the building, desperate for information. Most residents answered. Most had never seen Jasmine, but apartment 2 to 10 remained silent. Nobody home, nobody answering. Then neighbors started sharing what they'd heard. A loud disturbance had erupted from
Almost
that
like a
unit
scream.
around 2 in the morning on November 23rd. The timing matched Jasmine's dropped location pin exactly. Screaming, running, chaos in the middle of the night. Somehow, and accounts vary on exactly how, Katrina and Travis made their way inside apartment 2 to 10. A notebook by the door revealed the occupant's name, Jason Chen. The same Jason Chen who claimed he hadn't really talked to Jasmine. The same Jason Chen who lied about 71
Damn,
minutes of
Chen.
phone conversation. The small apartment was open concept, kitchen flowing directly into the living room. A hallway led to the single bedroom and bathroom. Most of the space was visible immediately upon entering. On the kitchen counter sat a small travel bag. Jasmine's bag? Travis searched through a desk drawer and found his daughter's driver's license and credit cards. He pulled them out deliberately, leaving them in plain view. Evidence that Jasmine had been here. Proof
Damn.
that Jason Chen had lied. Cleaning supplies covered multiple surfaces throughout the apartment. Someone had been working very hard to scrub
They try to
something
get rid of
away.
evidence.
Chattanooga police were called again. Officers arrived, spoke with neighbors, took statements, and left. Still no search warrant, still no real investigation. Katrina watched them drive away, fury and desperation mixing into something that
Like, I'm trying to tell, like, that's crazy, bro. Ain't no fucking way. Like, granted, like that, I don't know how the hell they got into the apartment. You know, that's kind of illegal, right? But anyway, that's besides the point, right? But like, I go inside this apartment, I find my daughter shit in this jar, her license, debit cards, all that was inside this jar, her bag, and it's like, and y'all just blow it off again, bro. Like, come on, bro. This is bro. The police ain't no, they ain't shit, bro.
would drive her actions over the next several hours. She went back into that apartment. Not once, not twice, multiple times over the next several hours, Katrina Pace entered Jason Chen's residence and removed items. Notebooks, electronics, cell
Like
phones,
that.
a camera, an iPad, anything that might tell her where her daughter was. She wasn't waiting for police permission anymore. She
You feel
was
me?
doing
The
their
fact that
job
they letting
for
them do
them.
that is crazy.
Travis searched outside the building while Katrina gathered evidence inside. They worked through the evening, two parents trying to save their daughter while law enforcement sat on their hands and did nothing. Close to midnight, the Chattanooga Police Department finally returned with a search warrant. What they found inside apartment 2 to 10 transformed a missing person case into a homicide investigation.
See, the parents should have just waited, bro.
Investigators noticed it immediately. Stains on the hardwood floor in the living room. More in the bathroom grout. Carpet in the bedroom showed discoloration.
Blood.
Spatter marked the doors and bathroom walls. The abundance of cleaning supplies suddenly made terrible sense. Outside the building, police recovered 2 white sneakers and blue trousers that had been concealed among refuse. Inside the apartment, fragments of broken glass littered the living room floor. Furniture had been moved around, drag marks visible on the carpet where heavy items had been repositioned to cover something underneath. In the bedroom, investigators found marks showing where furniture had sat for a long time before being moved recently. The rearrangement seemed designed to hide a large stain beneath the bed. On top of the bed sat a kitchen knife. The crime scene unit sprayed Blue Star throughout the apartment.
Yeah,
The forensic agent
blood.
reveals biological evidence that's been cleaned up or is invisible to the naked eye. When they turned off the lights and activated the chemical, the hallway showed significant luminol reactions. Forensic traces. Everywhere. The case of Jasmine Pace's disappearance officially became a homicide investigation. But where was her body? Detectives pulled security camera footage from the apartment building and surrounding businesses. The timeline they pieced together revealed Jason Chen's movements and, they hoped, where he'd taken Jasmine. Her white Chevrolet Equinox was captured turning into the apartment parking lot before midnight on November 22nd. Hours later, the same vehicle left the complex. But this time, a figure in a light-colored hoodie was driving. The driver was dropped at Signal View Condominiums, where the SUV was later found and picked up by a dark Prius, likely a rideshare service. The Prius returned the driver to Jason's apartment building at 8:30 p.m. on November 23rd. A Ring camera from the apartment next to an exit door captured Jason Chen leaving the building multiple times that day. At 8:27 p.m., 3 minutes before someone in a light hoodie drove Jasmine's car away, Jason was seen exiting through that same door. But other trips Jason made that day revealed even more damning evidence. Security footage from Walmart showed him shopping alone that morning, purchasing bandages, peroxide, and cleaning products. The overhead camera
He buying bandages and stuff because Shorty was scratching them, fighting them off. And like, it's like, come on, bro. Like, like, if y'all gonna be weird, bro, at least be kind of like, come on, bro, be smart, bro. Like, cause y'all can't hide, bro, evidence, bro. It's too, bro. It be too technologized, bro. Like, it's impossible to get away with stuff now, bro. Like, you can't do this no more. And the fact that, like, I don't know what was his reasoning, being a weirdo. Like, you like, bro. I like I said, women, bro. Y'all just be careful, bro. Like, meeting these dudes on Bumble and all these dating sites, Tinder, wherever the hell y'all be on. Like I said, it be weirdos on there, bro. And it's like, what you kill her for? Like, what was your reasoning, man? And then you try to hide the evidence, not doing a good job. You, bro, from the time you left, you was caught on camera, bro. From the time you left her in her car, dropped it back off, came back to your apartment, went to Walmart or where the hell you went to buy bandages and peroxide to clean up your wounds and stuff. Like, come on, man, y'all be stupid.
provided a clear view of his white sneakers, the same shoes later found concealed outside the apartment.
Yeah.
He shoplifted too, running expensive items through self-checkout as asparagus to avoid paying full price. A criminal trying to save a few dollars while covering up the crime of his life. That evening, he stopped at Walgreens for paper towels, more cleaning supplies for an apartment that must have been a scene of devastation. At almost 6 p.m. on November 23rd, security cameras captured a figure in that distinctive white hoodie struggling with a large suitcase. The person dragged it from the front door toward the parking lot with visible difficulty, the weight clearly substantial. Moments later, Jason Chen's black Toyota Camry left the complex. Detectives traced Jasmine's phone data. Her device had traveled to Walmart with Jason that morning, even though he shopped alone. The phone's GPS revealed where he drove after loading that heavy suitcase into his car. Suck Creek Road, a winding route that ran parallel to a riverbank, isolated and dark, even during daylight hours. On December 1st, investigators walked along that riverbank, searching for what they knew they'd find, but prayed they wouldn't. Then they spotted it, the suitcase. Inside, wrapped in multiple plastic layers, they found 98-pound Jasmine Pace. Investigators discovered she had been bound in a highly restrictive manner specifically designed to prevent any movement. The restraints weren't police issue. They were flimsier, the kind someone might buy online. The chain on one pair was broken. An autopsy revealed that Jasmine had sustained multiple fatal injuries. The wounds concentrated on the upper left side of her body. Autopsy results revealed catastrophic injuries consistent with a sharp force weapon. Dr. Stephen Cogswell, the Hamilton County medical examiner, concluded that based on wound locations, Jasmine had been in a fetal position during the attack. The restraints found on her body had likely been applied while she was still alive, incapacitating her so she couldn't fight back or escape. Jason Chen was arrested on November 29th at his parents' home in Nolensville. Officers noticed lacerations on his right hand and feet, injuries consistent with a violent struggle. A search of his room revealed a black backpack containing handwritten notes. Jason had been preparing his story, rehearsing what he'd tell police. The notes claimed he'd last seen Jasmine on November 19th. They'd spoken on the 22nd. He wrote that she had a history of running away, that an ex had a restraining order against her, that she'd been homeless. He even suggested her mother might be an alcoholic. All of it designed to paint Jasmine as an unpredictable runaway nobody should worry about. Inside a glasses case in his backpack.
I told you, weirdo. Like, bro, he too smart, bro. He too smart, so he thinking right now scenario to paint a different picture of her life, so he can do what he wanted to do with her. So, now that when they come looking for her, she won't be worried about anybody gonna look for her because she's a runaway. Her mom was an alcoholic. Like, do you know how crazy you is that to stuff somebody in a fucking suitcase, bro? Like, to stuff somebody in a suit like that, just like that shows how sick-minded somebody is. If you physically put somebody in the suitcase, stuff them in that motherfucker, then you drag it out. Then he didn't even hide it perfectly. He didn't even take it enough to throw it in a river to make it float and hopefully go down. He just put it visibly where they can see it. Like, come on, man. Dude.
Detectives found Jasmine's SIM card. He'd removed it from her phone, trying to control any communication that might reveal what he'd done. His own phone data told the real story. A photo of Jasmine in his bathroom taken the night she disappeared, screenshots of text messages he'd gotten from her, though the actual messages had been deleted. On the morning after the fatal event, he sent her a photo with the message, "Slept like a baby." The photo's metadata revealed it was taken 2 years earlier. Later that day, he texted her again. "Hey, are we still good for dinner tonight?" Pretending she was alive, creating a digital trail to support his lies. When Jason Chen's trial began in January 2025, his defense attorney shocked the courtroom on day one. He didn't fight for his client's innocence. Jason Chen took Jasmine Pace's life, attorney Josh Wise told the jury. But he didn't do it with premeditation. The strategy was clear. Jason faced life without parole if convicted of first-degree homicide.
He should.
His only hope was convincing the jury this was voluntary manslaughter, a crime of passion committed in the heat of the moment.
What?
The defense presented a scenario that seemed almost insulting in its simplicity.
Right.
Jason and Jasmine had been drinking wine late into the night. When Jasmine went to get another bottle, she heard Tinder notifications on Jason's phone. Multiple notifications. She became angry, attacked him with a broken wine glass. He grabbed a kitchen knife from the bedside table where he'd left it after opening a wine bottle earlier and defended himself. Multiple fatal injuries, all defensive. Then, according to this version, Jason panicked. He applied the restraints to make Jasmine's body fit inside the plastic layers and the suitcase. The binding wasn't to incapacitate her during the attack. They were just for disposal convenience afterward. Prosecutor Cody Wamp.
Nah, I don't believe that. I don't believe that one bit, my boy. Nope.
Methodically destroyed this narrative piece by piece.
You feel
Dr.
me, bro?
Cogswell testified about the wound patterns. Jasmine had been in a fetal position, concentrated injuries on one side of her body. She'd tried to defend herself with her left hand, but her right hand showed no significant defensive injuries because her right hand couldn't move. It was bound in that highly restrictive manner. The restraints weren't applied after death. They were used to incapacitate her while Jason subjected her to a frenzied attack. There was no alcohol in Jasmine's system. No wine had been consumed for hours before her death. The drinking story was a complete fabrication. Those Tinder notifications that supposedly provoked Jasmine's attack, data from the app showed Jason received exactly 0 Tinder notifications that entire day. Another lie designed to justify the tragedy. Courtney Brewer lived in the apartment below Jason's. She testified about being startled awake around 2 a.m. on November 23rd. A scream. A female voice, distressed and emphatic, but not quite angry. Then, footsteps. Multiple people running toward the front door. 7 minutes later, at 2:18 a.m., Jasmine managed to send her mother that drop location pin. 7 minutes during which she knew she was in terrible danger. 7 minutes during which she tried to escape, tried to survive, tried to leave some evidence of where she was and what was happening. She ran for the door. Neighbors heard it slam. Jason caught her. Then he spent those 7 minutes restraining her, binding her into a position where she couldn't fight back. A position that would allow him to inflict excessive violence while she could do nothing but curl into a fetal ball and try to protect herself with one hand. This wasn't a crime of passion. This was premeditated cruelty.
Yeah, bro, that is bro, you feel
The
me?
jury heard 6 days of testimony. They saw the surveillance footage, the phone records, the crime scene photos. They heard about Jason casually playing Call of Duty.
And then the fact that his own lawyer said he did it. Like, come on, bro. That should be enough evidence to charge him with first-degree murder. Life in prison.
With friends after the tragedy, telling them he just needed to finish cleaning his apartment first. They learned about him messaging a woman on Tinder hours after Jasmine died, saying, "I guess we're dating now." Defense attorneys tried to raise doubt about crime scene contamination. Yes, Katrina Pace had entered the apartment multiple times before it was officially processed.
Right,
yes,
yeah, she was tripping.
She'd moved things, taken electronics, searched for her daughter, while police did nothing. But as one juror later explained, it didn't matter. The defense had already admitted Jason ended Jasmine's life. The only question was whether he planned it or reacted impulsively to provocation. The physical evidence answered that question definitively. Jury deliberation began at 4:15 p.m. They returned with a verdict just after 5. Guilty of first-degree premeditated homicide. During the sentencing phase, Jason's mother made an emotional plea through a translator. "He is a very good child," she said. "He is not a bad person. I pray that the judge and jury will give him a chance."
Man, your son just, man, miss me with all that shit. You feel me? Your son just unalived this girl for no reason. We don't even know why. Other than just being weirdo. Been a straight weirdo. Talking like, come on, man. He grown as hell. He knew what he was doing, bro. Like, come on, man. We ain't about to do that, lady.
So he can go home and restart his life. Defense attorney Wise asked the jury to offer Jason hope of redemption, to let him seek parole when he reached 73 years old. You're not tasked with forgiving Jason Chen or even excusing his actions, he argued. You are tasked with ensuring justice, a justice tempered with mercy. The jury deliberated for less than an hour. Life in prison without the possibility of parole. The crime was especially heinous, atrocious, and cruel. It involved prolonged suffering and extreme physical abuse beyond what was necessary to cause death. Jason Chen would die in prison.
Yeah.
Looking back at this investigation, one fact stands out above all others. If Katrina and Travis Pace had trusted the police to do their job, this case might never have been solved. The initial police response was worse than inadequate. It was negligent. Officers were called to the Signal View condominium's parking lot where Jasmine's car sat abandoned. They took a report and left. When Katrina called the number from Jasmine's phone records and Jason Chen lied directly to police about his last contact with her, they did nothing. Even after discovering Jasmine's belongings inside Jason's apartment. Even after neighbors reported hearing a violent disturbance at exactly the time Jasmine sent that location pin, police initially refused to obtain a search warrant. It took Katrina entering that apartment herself multiple times, gathering evidence and creating a situation that finally forced law enforcement to act.
That's crazy.
She did the investigating. She tracked the GPS on her daughter's car. She pulled phone records. She connected Jason Chen to the crime scene and refused to let police ignore what was happening. The Chattanooga Police Department eventually did solid forensic work once they finally got involved. But that involvement came far too late, prompted only by a mother who wouldn't accept bureaucratic excuses about missing adults having the right to disappear.
Fuck exactly, bro. Like, what? That killed me when I heard that. Like, what, bro? Just because they're adult, they got their, like, nah, bro. Come on, bro. If you see parents is, like, concerned, like, she's an adult, so she got permission to, she can disappear whenever she wants to. We gonna blow the case off. We don't even care. Hey, come on, man.
This case exposed a fundamental flaw in how law enforcement handles missing person reports. The policy that adults have the right to disappear sounds reasonable in theory, but in practice, it becomes an excuse for inaction. When family members present clear evidence that something is wrong, when they identify suspects who are lying about their contact with the missing person, when they locate belongings in suspicious places, the response shouldn't be, adults can disappear if they want to. The response should be investigation. Real investigation, not taking a report and leaving frustrated parents to do the detective work themselves. During the trial, defense attorneys made much of Katrina's actions. They suggested she contaminated the crime scene, possibly even planted evidence. The jury saw through this strategy immediately. Every single person who went into that apartment had a part in contamination, one juror explained later. But it didn't matter on our deliberations because we already knew what was admitted, that he had taken her life. The case against Jason Chen was overwhelming because Katrina Pace refused to wait for a system that failed her daughter from the very beginning. Her actions raise important questions about how we handle missing person cases in this country. How many other families have been told adults have the right to disappear when clear warning signs existed? How many investigations have stalled because police departments prioritized policy over instinct, procedure over common sense? Katrina Pace did what the Chattanooga Police Department should have done from day one. She investigated. She gathered evidence. She connected dots. She refused to accept easy answers when hard questions needed asking. During his testimony, Travis Pace struggled with questions about his ex-wife. Defense attorneys asked about Katrina's honesty, trying to discredit her as a witness. Travis said he had no opinion. The courtroom felt the weight of a family torn apart, not just by the tragedy, but by the investigation that followed. Many family members walked out when Travis testified for the defense. The relationships fractured by grief and legal proceedings may never fully heal. Jasmine's...
Oh, damn. That's crazy, bro. Nah, that's sick. That's even sicker, bro. You testified for the, like, that's crazy work right there, bro. Like, this your daughter, bro, and you testified for that, bro. Your daughter is dead, bro, because a weirdo dude unalived her, had her sit in his apartment, this land in the jar, and you testified, bro. Oh, me, yeah. The fam, this ain't, nah, yeah, bro. Ain't no, we are no longer, we not even, wherever what they was husband and wife. I know they probably do. Like, come on, bro. Nah, bro. There ain't no way you did that. Like I said, and then as far as the police, bro, let that have been one of their kids or something, bro. That whole department would have been looking for the kid.
Family filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Jason Chen's parents, accusing them of harboring their son and providing money and information while he was the prime suspect and the Pace family was desperately searching for their daughter. But with Jason's conviction and sentencing, at least one chapter closed, justice was served. The man who bound Jasmine Pace in a highly restrictive manner and subjected her to heinous cruelty while she begged for mercy will never walk free again.
Hell no, he'll need to.
Jasmine wanted to be a mother someday. Her sister Gabby said she constantly talked about what kind of parent she'd be, how she'd raise her children, the life she'd build for them. She practiced with her two nieces and her godson Waylon, showering them with the fierce, protective love that defined her personality. She collected rescue cats. She showed up for friends in crisis. She never burned bridges or ended relationships badly. Everyone who knew her described the same qualities: clever, smart, brilliant, loving, loyal. She made a point to let people know she was thinking of them, that she loved them. I've known her my entire life, and I've never seen her burn a bridge or have ends with someone badly, one friend said. She just always made it a point to know, for you to know, that she was thinking of you and that she loves you. Jasmine Pace, 22 years old, community college student, devoted aunt, animal lover, friend to anyone who needed one. She deserved a future filled with children and cats and people who loved her back as fiercely as she loved them. Instead, she spent her final minutes restrained and terrified, betrayed by someone she trusted, abandoned by a police force that should have protected her. Her parents gave her justice. They refused to accept official indifference. They investigated when investigators wouldn't. They pushed when the system tried to push them away. They loved their daughter enough to fight for her even after they knew she was gone. That's the legacy of Jasmine Pace. Not just a victim, not just a tragedy, but a daughter whose family loved her enough to move mountains when the people who were supposed to help couldn't be bothered to lift a finger. And that's the truth that should haunt everyone who heard this story. Sometimes the only justice victims receive is the justice their families demand. Sometimes the system fails so completely that ordinary people have to become their own investigators, their own.
They ain't lying though, cause bro, like legit, bro. A lot of, especially in the hood, bro, in black and bro. If the family don't push for justice, but this is I'm not trying to make this a race thing, but this is just pure facts. If the family don't push for justice, bro, that murder is just gonna go unsolved probably for 9 times out of 10. The police ain't gonna do. They gonna do their little investigation here, then then cold case sooner or later. But if y'all don't, if the family don't push for justice, sometimes, bro, the police ain't gonna do nothing, bro. As sad as it is, but that's the truth, though, man. But y'all like and comment, let me know your thoughts on the video, man. If y'all new here, hit that sub button. Catch y'all on the next one, man. We out.